হ্যালো এভরিওয়ান, আশা করছি সবাই খুব 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 ভালো আছো আর মন দিয়ে পড়াশোনা করছো। আর তোমাদের জন্য আমি শুরু করেছিলাম জিওমেট্রি সিরিজ, সেই জিওমেট্রি সিরিজটাকে আমি কন্টিনিউ করতে চলেছি। এই কদিন আমার একটুখানি শরীর খারাপ ছিল বলে আমি ভিডিও আনতে পারিনি, এর জন্য আমি তোমাদের থেকে সরি বলে দিচ্ছি সবাইকে। তো আজকে থেকে আমি আবার আমার সেই জিওমেট্রি সিরিজ আমি শুরু করছি। তো এই জিওমেট্রি সিরিজের যে আজকের যে টপিকটা সেটা খুব খুব একটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট টপিক হতে চলেছে। টপিকটা হলো তোমার পোলার ইকুয়েশন অফ আ কনিক। এই চ্যাপ্টারটা খুব খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট, বিকজ এখান থেকে গ্রাজুয়েশনে সব কটা ইউনিভার্সিটিতে অনেক অনেক কোশ্চেন আসে। That is why this chapter is very very important. Okay, so we shall start our today's chapter. Our today's chapter is polar equation of a conic. But before that, before going to polar equation of a conic, we need to know a lot of things. Okay, we need to know what is polar equation, what is polar system. Okay, because basically we need to know what is polar system. Okay, polar equation of a conic এটাই আমাদের মেইন চ্যাপ্টার, কিন্তু পোলার ইকুয়েশন অফ আ কনিক জানতে গেলে না অনেক পরে আসবে পোলার ইকুয়েশন অফ আ কনিক। তার আগে অনেক কিছু স্টেজ আমাদের কাছে আসবে, যেমন যে হোয়াট ইজ পোলার ইকুয়েশন, what is polar system, what is distance between two points in polar system, what is polar equation of a line, এরকম অনেক অনেক কোশ্চেন করার পর দেন আমাদের কাছে আসবে আমাদের মেইন টপিক পোলার ইকুয়েশন অফ আ কনিক। সো বেসিক্যালি হোয়াট ইজ মাই টার্গেট, my target is to explain what is polar system. Okay, and in next video I shall derive what is polar equation of a conic. So watch this video carefully. Okay, খুব ভালো করে তোমরা এই ভিডিওটা দেখো, যাতে করে তোমরা নেক্সট ভিডিওতে সবকিছু বুঝে যাবে। ঠিক আছে, তো শুরু করবো আমাদের পোলার ইকুয়েশন অফ আ কনিক। তার আন্ডারে আমাদের ফার্স্টেই আমি যেটা দিয়ে স্টার্ট করব সেটা হলো হোয়াট ইজ পোলার সিস্টেম। ফার্স্টেই আমি তোমাদের বলতে চাই, ইন্ট্রোডিউস করতে চলেছি হোয়াট ইজ পোলার সিস্টেম। সো সি দ্যাট we know there is a system which is called Cartesian system. Cartesian. What is Cartesian system? There is a point. This point is called what? Yes, this point is called origin. And there is a point P. Suppose its coordinate is x comma y. Then this what? Then this implies between O to P. কি imply করছে? Between O to P, my distance is x, and this distance, say this point is some m, and this distance pm is equal to y. We know this. So this type of system is called Cartesian system. Okay, but sometimes we need another system where instead of considering x comma y, we consider r and theta. Okay, তো কি হয় দেখো, কার্টেসিয়ান সিস্টেমে x comma y এটা থেকেও না অনেক সময় for convenience we need another coordinate which is called r and theta. এর অনেক অ্যাডভান্টেজ আছে, সেটা আমরা আস্তে আস্তে করে দেখবো। ওই যে বললাম পোলার ইকুয়েশন অফ আ কনিক, পোলার ইকুয়েশন অফ আ লাইন, বেসিক্যালি ইট ইজ টোটালি আ নিউ সিস্টেম, যেটা ইউজ করলে না আমাদের জিওমেট্রিতে অনেক কিছু প্রবলেম সলভ হয়ে যায়। That is why we have introduced this type of system. It's called polar system. So as I said, this is my Cartesian system and its equivalent system, which is called polar system. So let me introduce the polar system now. So in polar system, always there is a point O. Okay, there is always a point O, and there is another point which is called capital P. What is P? P is any point in the system. P is any point in this polar system. Okay, suppose the coordinates of P are r and theta. ধরে নাও P এর coordinates হচ্ছে r and theta. It means what? It means the distance between O to P is r. See that the distance between O to P is r, and what is theta? See that this line, we know in Cartesian system this line is called axis, right? In Cartesian system this line is called axis, but in this system this line is said to be initial line. So what is my OX? My OX is my initial line, and P, R, comma, theta is a point. This is a point in polar system. Okay, in this polar system, we always take a point like this. Then my OP distance between O to P is called R. Now, what is theta? What is theta? Theta is basically angle between OP and this OX. Theta is angle between OP and OX, and we measure theta in anti-clockwise direction like this. Okay, so what is theta? Theta is basically my angle XOP, which is my angle between initial line and OP, and theta is called is always taken in anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clock. Basically, sometimes we can take theta in clockwise direction as well. Okay, I shall explain you later this concept. Okay, in my next video, not in this video. In the next video, I shall show you when we shall take theta in clockwise direction as well. Okay, but my today's purpose is to introduce polar system so that you can easily understand what is polar equation of a conic. Because as I said, to understand the concept of polar equation of a conic, you must go through this video. This is a very, very important video for your polar equation of a conic. Okay, and if you have any doubt, as I said in my all video, if you have any doubt, don't hesitate to ask me in my in comment box. I shall definitely clear your doubt in my next video. Now, in polar system, this O to P distance R is called radius vector. Okay, this is radius vector, and this angle which is taken in anticlockwise direction, this angle is called vectorial angle. So there is my radius vector and there is my vectorial angle. This is my concept of polar system, and this O, see that in Cartesian system, this O is called what? Origin? No. But in polar system, this point O is said to be pole. Point O is my pole. So how we can define R? So see that we can define this R means radius vector. This is basically distance between, there is the interpretation, distance between pole. See that distance between pole and the point P, which is very clear from this diagram. Okay, so we always interpret my radius vector R like this. It is my distance between pole and the point P. That point P can be anywhere. Point P ta je kono jayagaয় থাকতে পারে. Accordingly, my R and theta will vary. For example, suppose point P lies here. Then what will be coordinate of P? The coordinate of P will be some R1, theta 1. Some R1, theta 1. Where? What is R1? Join O and P1. Join O and P1. This distance will be your R1. And what will be theta 1? Theta 1 will be this angle. Angle between initial line and OP. So if P shift like this, my R1 and theta 1 will also be changed accordingly. সেইভাবেই আমাদের R1 আর theta 1 টা কিন্তু চেঞ্জ হয়ে যাবে. Okay, so value of R and theta depend on position of P. Okay, so and this entire system is called polar system. So it is a very, very important system, and as I said, there will be so many questions in our university exam, in our college exam from this chapter. So it's a very important chapter. So chapter ta bhalo kore amader korte hobe. So this entire system is called my polar system. So aro amra joto time jabe amra janbo ei polar system sombondhe. Okay, so next, see that next we shall see what is called distance between 2 points in a polar system. First of all, see that what is distance between 2 points in Cartesian system? Suppose there are 2 points x1, y1 and x2, y2 in a Cartesian system. Cartesian. Then the distance between them will be this will be say PQ. Say this point is Q, this point is P. Then PQ will be distance between 2 points. And this distance PQ is basically given by root over x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. That is called distance between 2 points. But this distance is basically measured in a Cartesian system. Now, what is our objective? Our objective is to find distance between 2 points in polar system, because we are now interested in polar system. So then what? Let, as usual, let OX is my initial line and O is pole. Let us take 2 points P and Q in polar system. And we know in polar system, the coordinate of any point will be in the form r and theta. Right now, coordinate will be always in the form r and theta. So let coordinate of P is r1 comma theta 1 and coordinate of Q is r2 comma theta 2. So these are coordinates of P and Q. So what is the meaning of r1? As we know, r1 means distance between OP. This is distance is called r1, as we know from our concept, and this distance OQ. This distance is my r2, right? And what is theta 1? We know is generally we measure angle in anti-clockwise direction. So theta 1, this will be this angle in anti-clockwise direction. And what is my theta 2? Theta 2 is also taken in anti-clockwise direction like this. So these are my theta 1 and theta 2. This distance are my r1 and r2. Okay? Done. Then you can easily see that PQ. If we join PQ, my PQ will be required distance. Okay? PQ ta rakho amar she required distance between the point P and Q. Okay? Now how we can find P and Q? So I think everything is okay for everyone. How we can find this distance PQ? This is my basic question from this chapter. So for this, at first see that my distance OP is basically R1, distance OQ is basically R2, and these are my angle, angle XOP. Say that angle XOP, this is equal to theta 1, and angle XOQ, this is basically theta 2. In that case, can you observe that? Can you observe that this angle is theta 1 minus theta 2? See that? If we subtract theta 2 from theta 1, means theta 1 minus theta 2 will give you this angle. This angle is what? Angle POQ. So let me write it. Angle POQ. Angle POQ. This is basically my theta 1 minus theta 2. Okay? In that case, see that from the triangle OPQ. See that from triangle OPQ, what we obtain this. What we obtain from triangle OPQ? See that from triangle OPQ, we can write, now there is a basic geometry formula. Basic geometry formula from our HS course. That is called a property of triangle. We have done property of triangle in our HS course. There is a formula, recall. The formula was A square equal to B square plus C square minus 2BC, then cos of, then cos of A. This is my theory. A square equal to B square plus C square minus 2BC cos A. This is a formula. This formula was from property of triangle. So if we use this formula in this topic, see that from the triangle OPQ, what we can write? We can write PQ square. Say PQ is A. Say PQ is basically A. So PQ square can be written as OP square. Say OP square is my B plus of OQ square. Say OQ is my C minus 2 into B into C. Here B is OP, C is OQ. B is OP, C is OQ. Then cos of angle A, and here A is angle POQ. Here A is angle POQ. This formula came from our HS course. There was a chapter. The chapter was property of triangle. This property of triangle chapter says A square equal to B square plus C square minus 2BC multiplied with cos of A. Okay, I'm writing here clearly. A square is equal to B square plus C square minus 2BC cos of A. That is the formula. So if we apply this formula here, my A is PQ. So PQ square, B is say OP, then OP square, C is say OQ. There is my B, there is my C. OQ square minus 2 into B into C. B is OP, C is OQ. And cos of angle A is basically here angle A. Here angle A is my angle POQ. So very, very important formula from our property of triangle chapter. So if we apply here, what we are getting is my PQ. See that PQ is my required distance. Here in this problem, we are interested in the distance PQ. So what is the distance PQ? My PQ distance is, what is OP? Say that my OP is R1. What is OQ? Say that OQ is R2. Minus 2 into what is OP? OP is R1. What is OQ? OQ is R2. Cos of angle POQ. Angle POQ is basically theta 2 minus theta 1. So that is a very, very important formula that is called distance between 2 points in polar system. So whenever you are find to distance between 2 points in polar system, the answer will be my radius vector square for first point plus radius vector square for second point minus 2 into product of their radius vectors and then cos of difference between their vectorial angle, because as we know theta 2 minus theta 1 is vectorial angle. Okay, my theta 1 is what? Theta 1 is vectorial angle. My vectorial angle of P, and theta 2 is my vectorial angle of Q. Okay, so theta 2 minus theta 1 is basically difference between their vectorial angle. So it's a very, very important result. This result gives us distance between 2 points in polar system. Okay, so after this, now we shall find a very, very important thing. This is my polar equation of a line. So now deklam what is distance between 2 points. Now we shall find polar equation of a line. So what is polar equation of a line? It's a very, very important thing. Suppose there is a straight line. Say this straight line is some AB. Suppose O is my pole. Ota amader pole to. Now take a point P, R comma theta. Let AB be the line. AB be the line. There is a point P, R comma theta. P, R comma theta be a point on AB. That means what? My OP is what? My OP will be my R, my radius vector OP. And what is my theta? Suppose there is my initial line. Suppose there is my initial line. Then we know this angle will be theta in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, in next class, we shall take theta in clockwise direction as well. Next class, আমরা সেটাও করব। তাহলে P R comma theta be a point on the line AB. Then what? Then see that this distance OP is equal to R. This distance OP is R. Now we draw a perpendicular on this line. What is let ON? ON is perpendicular on the line AB. And suppose the length of ON is some P. Length ON এর length টা কত আসছে? P. আর ধরা যাক suppose this angle XON or angle NOX. Say that let angle NOX is equal to some alpha. Say there is my alpha. Say in that case, what will be my this angle? See that my angle NOP, in this case, my angle NOP will be theta minus alpha, right? angle NOP will be theta minus alpha. It's very clear. It's this entire angle is theta, this angle is alpha. Mane ei je angle ta na, this angle will be theta minus alpha. Okay. Now consider this triangle, angle PON. Angle triangle PON. See that from this triangle, what we can obtain is, at first, see that if this is my angle, then this side PN will be my perpendicular. Because we know side opposite to angle is called perpendicular, right? Side opposite to angle is called perpendicular, so my PN is perpendicular. So from triangle PON, what we obtain is, see that, by rule, ON by OP. See that if this is my perpendicular, my ON will be base. ON will be base and OP will be hypotenuse. So it is my base by hypotenuse, and base by hypotenuse is cos of NOP. Cos NOP. Base by hypotenuse is called cos theta. Right? This is my basic geometry. Then ON is equal to then ON. What is ON? ON is my P. What is my OP? My OP is R. And cos of what is angle NOP? See that angle NOP is theta minus alpha. So P by R is equal to cos of theta minus alpha. Then see that P by R is equal to cos of theta minus alpha can be written as cos theta cos alpha plus sin theta sin alpha. Very basic. See that? So I again repeat, if this is my angle, side opposite to angle is called perpendicular. So my PN will be my perpendicular. And in that case, my ON will be base. ON tamar base hobe, OP hoye jabe hypotenuse. And base by hypotenuse is cos theta. My theta is angle NOP. Okay. And my angle NOP is my theta minus alpha from this diagram. See that? So cos of theta minus alpha is cos theta cos alpha plus sin theta sin alpha. Now from this we can write divide both sides by P. See that we are dividing both sides by P. Right? P is my length of perpendicular. Okay? P is my length of perpendicular. Now let cos alpha by P is equal to some constant capital A. Cos alpha by P is some constant capital A. And sin alpha by P is some constant capital B. So this will be my equation of a straight line in polar system. Okay? This is my equation of a polar, okay, straight line. In my Cartesian system, the equation is this. But see that in my polar system, the equation is quite different. It is my 1 by R equal to A cos theta plus B sin theta. This is my A, this is my B sin alpha by P. These are my A and B. Okay? And okay, so in my next class, we shall see what is relation between Cartesian system and polar system. After that, I shall start my very, very important topic, polar equation of a conic. So there is a basic before going to polar equation of a conic. So at first, watch this video carefully and find your doubt and ask me before next class. Okay? So again, we shall meet you in my next class. In my next class, again repeat, I shall introduce polar equation of conic. We shall derive the polar equation of conic in my next class. Okay? So, abar dekha hocche next class e tomar sange. Till then, bye bye.